Greetings and welcome to Boutique Bridal and Lifestyle Design. I think we can all agree that it has been a strange and interesting year. However, in the midst of it, I had the opportunity to attend the Project Prairie Sewing Retreat. It was 5 days and 4 nights of a midsummer getaway with all the sewing to your heart's content. It was held at the St. Benedict Center, which is in a remote, beautiful countryside of Schuyler, Nebraska. It was organized and hosted by the sweet and talented Cari Loschen. She has a passion for draping and uses couture techniques for her garment sewing. We call her the sewing concierge since she is full of information and resources. Well, I'd like to share my personal experience with the Project Prairie Sewing Retreat. So I hope you enjoyed the video.
We are sorry for our late arrival. We appreciate your patience and understanding. Trying to get here as quickly and safely as possible.
So I actually missed out on the first day of the sewing retreat due to the flight delay. Now that could be for another video. If you'd like to know what happened, please leave it in the comments section below. However, I want to take this time to thank Diane at the airport guest relations because she really took care of me the best she could. Nevertheless, I had a wonderful experience at the Lincoln, Nebraska airport because of the people I encountered. Well, I finally made it to the St. Benedict Center a little before midnight, and it was really nice to be greeted by Carrie and Ruth, in which I later learned were night owls. Also, it was nice to have a comfortable, warm bed to sleep in that night. Here, I'm going to just give you a general schedule of the day. I did get to meet everyone the next day at breakfast, which started at 7:30 a.m. Note that the retreat was come and go as you please, however, the meals were at fixed times. Following breakfast, we would go into the sewing room, and each person had their own designated sewing area. We got to organize it however we liked and how it was efficient for us. You can see here that each person's station is organized with 2 tables in an L shape. Everyone would continue working on their project, and we would slowly trickle out depending where we are on our project for lunch. And lunch started at 12:15 p.m. After lunch, we would go back to the sewing room and continue sewing some more. Dinner would be at 6:15 p.m. After dinner, you can go back to the sewing room or just take a break and explore or walk the trail at the St. Benedict Center. Like I mentioned before, it was come and go as you please. However, almost everyone would return to the sewing room and sew some more. Around 9 o'clock, some of the ladies did start to leave to prepare for bedtime. However, there is an option to stay later if you wanted, and that was basically the option I took. Most of the nights, it was Carrie, myself, and Ruth who would stay up late and call it a night by 12 a.m. Carrie made sure we were well equipped. In addition to the list of supplies to pack, Carrie brought in additional supplies in case it didn't fit in our luggage or we have forgotten them. You can see here we had books for resources, variety of rulers, patterns, fabrics, and in the corner she set up a dressing room. There were also 3 ironing stations at the corners of the room. Carrie had also set up a serging station. In the middle of the room were 2 large square stations. You were able to draft patterns on there, lay out and study the design of your fabric, cut your fabric, transfer seam lines, or just any time you needed a large space to work with. Sometimes we would also gather at the table just to learn from each other. What was great was that everybody was at different sewing levels and was able to learn from one another. We also had a special session where Emma taught us how to do a curved waistband using a special technique. And Lisa at So Tall brought in her mother-in-law's vintage dresses. She had utilized these unique sewing techniques that we couldn't help but analyze and appreciate the beauty of it. Depending on how open you are to learn, there was just so much to discover and learn from everyone else and their different projects. All the ladies did have their individual projects to work on. However, if you had a hard time choosing a project to bring to the sewing retreat, Cari had a few suggestions. Project Prairie was the perfect time to get all your measurements taken and on paper, get fitting help, develop a bodice, a skirt, or a skirt sloper, work on pants, try something new like bra making or the Carolyn pajamas. Finish a PhD, which stands for Project Half Done. Tackle a big project like a coat. Refine the fit of a wardrobe staple, perhaps your favorite classic shirt or a blazer. Thanks for all these suggestions, Cari. And here are the highlights for everybody's projects. Pay close attention because I'm sure you'll learn something new like I did.
Okay, I've got several things, but the most important thing to me is to get this moulage to fit. I started it back in March or April, but I stopped when I knew I was coming to this class. So Cari and Catherine are helping me with it. We pinned it, one time. So, and then the other things I have this jacket I made a few years ago that I knitted the collar and the cuffs.
Wow.
But it's not that flattering, and this was kind of inexpensive fabric, and I want something nicer. So I found this wool in my stash that I thought went pretty well with this. Yeah. So I want some help with what a good way to make this jacket something that would be more flattering. So that's one thing. And then this is some Liberty fabric I bought last year, and I want to make a blouse, which is kind of, I want to make a pattern from the moulage. So, and I want some ideas on that too. So this it looks like sardines.
Oh wow.
That's just the way I packaged it. But it's fish. So there's one for everybody.
Oh my God. This is a muslin. I'm still working on the sleeves. I've got some, I don't really care if it works out material. No, this is
That's not cheap ass.
expensive mood that I went, I don't really like it that much. But then this is funky and I'm in love with it.
Okay.
Yeah, for that. And when all else is finished, by tomorrow morning,
Yes.
then, but I'd like my sewing people to take a look at them and fine tune the fit.
Bishop was her name
Was
that
it?
developed it back in the 30s.
Back in the day.
30s, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And what is different or
Well, you
about it?
cut, feel this collar. There's no seam allowance in the
Oh.
ends.
Yeah. Maybe tomorrow you should do it for the whole
but
group.
there is a seam underneath here. And that's how you connect the whole thing.
in the center.
You don't have any bulk in the ends.
I know the mannequin.
Yeah, that's a bishop method.
We're at the, hey, I got a bus start.
All right.
And on draft number 2. So we're going to fit that.
Yeah.
Slow progress, but progress.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Muslin.
old pattern. It came from Great Coffee. Did you guys ever do anything with her? She would go buy a dress or pants or something, take it all apart, redo it, and then make it in her own whatever. But anyway, I made these this is probably 20 years ago or so. And I made them out of a silk, raw silk, and they are the best. I still wear them, and they're just, I've had them so I am going to make them out of this piece of wool that I got at Joann's, but it's very, very drapey. So I'm going to give them a try.
Is it going to line them? Are they lined?
No, they aren't lined. I could line them, but they aren't lined. I'm going to line them. I've got a liner that I wear that I've made out of silk, a silk liner that I just pull on.
Do your pants liners have a zipper or how?
No, just elastic waist. Just you don't have to line every pair of pants. There was some designer that used to say to do that, and I can't remember who it was. Because there's nothing that feels better than a lined pair of pants. So that's my plan.
I'm going to finish my tailored coat that I started 2 Novembers ago in the Thomas von Nordheim class. And it's got the rolled collar with the pad stitching, and I have to cut the lining. Right now I'm figuring out, I'm adding the ice wool in the sleeve head and finishing that. And I've got to cut the lining, and I have the buttonholes done. And I mean, it's a short list, it's just a lot of time to do all of that and get my head back in the project. So that's me. All right, thanks.
I am trying to make white linen shorts to add to my mommy on the go wardrobe. But I only have like 3 shorts. And so I need more shorts. But I realized the next time I come next year, I really want to get pant fittings because I think I have issues fitting the crotch. I think I look really good. But this year, still practicing my pants. So yeah, I'm getting my white linen shorts, but
Did you draft your own pants?
I did.
Top stitching.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to do some basting.
Yeah.
This is white linen. Trying to accomplish a knit shirt, but not a high priority. A dress. I'm just using this as.
Had you made these?
Yeah, I made these. And so, I'm trying to, I brought them so that I can kind of remember what I did.
Of course.
I showed you my skirt, so I'm gonna flip it so I can see. So I'm, redoing the pattern. And then I went to do the Carolyn pajamas. And I have a really fun Liberty lawn.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah, so.
So special.
Yeah, and I will do this as per the instructions. I promise not to change a thing. Really, I stitched it in, I stitched it up and.
Aww.
Just making a very simple cream color blouse. Super simple. Here. Like a linen tencel fabric, and then I'm gonna do some stitching at the neckline in 3 colors. Just really simple, and then I'm gonna make a skirt out of a fabric I've had in my stash forever, a print from Bali. So that's what I'm making.
two main projects. The sewing of this 1980s Calvin Klein dress, and it's in a cotton boil with a cotton batiste underlining. So that's my sewing project, and then my fitting project is, but it's my button-down shirt that I want to get fitting really good. And so I started doing a lot of the work on my own for the armholes and the neckline and stuff the beginning of the year, and I've been making some just sort of wearable muslin types. So there may be some refinement still in the front and arms or whatever in the sleeve, but the main thing I want to do is the seams. So to be able to have versatility, so I can just keep using the same front yoke, whatnot, but different back option.
There's suspender pants, see? I don't know if you can see that, but they gather up. This is the top that's gonna go with them, this little top. That's cool. And I would like to do my pants again. I wanna fit this
I love that one.
top with this. Oh,
Yeah.
cute. I sew the elastic right here on the seam allowance and right here on the seam allowance. Then we flip this and I pinned it right here and I put it right there. With Carrie's help, when we pull it,
Yeah,
we
for the
divided it.
stretch, you can
And
go
then
back
I
and forth.
put a pin right there and then we pulled it and I put a pin right there. And then I sewed in the ditch right here from this side. And then I sewed down the center.
I want to thank Cari and all the ladies for making this sewing retreat a memorable event. I've learned so much from each one of you, and I'm sure we'll cross paths again. Thank you so much. Although this was a sewing retreat, it was held at a Catholic monastery. So while there, I decided to make it a personal spiritual retreat for myself as well.